What is up, lads? Welcome to another video. This is Sean, aka AVL Frosty. To start out, I just want to say apologies not uploading in about a week and a bit. It's my fault. Really, I mean, I did expect this to happen going back to school after these holidays. Obviously, it's a lot easier to get videos done when I'm on a school holiday, but I knew going back to school, my GCSEs starting, my first exams in like 3 weeks, literally. Yeah, but I knew it would be harder, but I was hoping it wouldn't be quite this bad, although I do have actually 2 or 3 videos lined up after this, which should be coming out over the next few days. I'm not necessarily going to promise anything daily, but I do have gameplays ready to do commentaries over, if you will. But basically today it's an FFA Friday number 5. We're on Retreat Hardpoint. It is a Wednesday. Don't think I've done an FFA Friday on a Wednesday before, so there you go, something new for you. Hopefully you'll enjoy that, lads. But basically I'll put sort of my little topic I thought I'd talk about. So, for those of you at least from the UK, I don't know how many of my viewers are not from the UK. If there's anyone not from the UK, please tell me in the comments, because that would actually be pretty weird, because I've only got like 50 viewers. But yeah, the UK, the general election coming up in about, I don't actually know when the actual election is. It's in May, so it'll be in a few weeks' time. But obviously they've been covering it pretty fanatically on the news. The debates have started and whatnot, and I just thought I'd get my opinions across, my political opinions. We could have a bit of a conversation. I'm not going to go too far into all the various politics. I'm not a political expert. I'm not an idiot, but I'm not. I'm no fucking Jeremy Paxman. I can't go ripping into anyone for no real reason. But ultimately, I am a Conservative voter. No, I'm not. I'm not a Conservative voter because I don't vote for anyone, basically. Yeah, I can't vote. I'm 15 still. I'm 15. I'm still 15. It feels like I've been 15 for a long time. I mean, my birthday's in 2 months, but it literally feels like I've been 15 for 2 years. I'm not sure why. I don't know if that's a feeling anyone else has ever had, but it just feels like I've been 15 for a long time. But anyway, back onto the topic. I can't vote because I'm 15, but if I had a choice, I would vote for the Conservatives, and I hope the Conservatives win. Plainly because ultimately, the Conservatives have done with the help of the Lib Dems, not really doing anything, over the last 5 years, they've essentially, sort of cleaned up, or at least most of it, they've cleaned up most of Labour's mess from the last Labour government, which is part of the reason I don't particularly want to vote for Labour. I mean, I keep saying vote, but I can't vote, but you know what I mean, because, I just don't know if I can trust Labour, because the last time they were in power, Tony Blair, and then for a year or so, Gordon Brown, managed to completely balls it up, and to be honest, I'd have a lot more faith in Tony Blair than Ed Miliband. I don't mind Miliband. There's some things, they just worry me. He's just not, he seems alright, but then he doesn't. Like, for example, I was watching him on BBC Breakfast the other morning. I just happened to be on there, an interview with him, and although this is probably quite common, a lot of politicians do. It's a very political way of answering a question. He was asked a question about his policies regarding the NHS and his plan to give them, or to set aside £2.5 billion to the NHS as soon as he's elected, on the day he comes into office. And he was asked by Bill Turnbull, the breakfast presenter, about how he kept emphasising in the Labour manifesto and in his speeches whilst he's been campaigning the last few weeks that he will only make promises when he knows where the money has come from. And he was asked by Bill Turnbull, where is this money coming from? And his answer to the question was merely about 5 minutes of him explaining why you needed to know where the money was coming from in order to make a promise. And he then slated off the Tories for not knowing where their money was coming from. He didn't mention one sentence about where his money was coming from, which just pissed me off. And it's like that pissed me off, which is part of the reason I don't mind Farage. On one hand, I don't know if I can trust him because he seems a bit, he just seems a bit meh, but at the same time he's very straight talking. He's not, he won't fuck around with a question the way Miliband did there. Another thing on the theme of UKIP, I am not a supporter of UKIP. I don't mind them. I'd rather the Tories won than them. But when people start saying, oh, you can't vote UKIP because they're racist, it really just makes me think. You need to get your head out of your arse and stop talking about politics until you know what you're talking about. Because UKIP aren't racist, and this whole idea of UKIP being racist, which I guess in a sense the party used to be maybe 5-10 years ago, since it's come under prominence under Farage, it's really not. People accuse them of being racists and make jokes about Farage married to a German lady, which essentially proves the point that he isn't a racist. But regardless of that, but simply because they have different immigration policies. I say different immigration policies to the Tories and Labour, because unlike the Tories and Labour, they would rather the UK's immigration state be quite similar to how it's like in Australia and Canada, where I believe the law is you can only come into our country on a permanent basis if you are qualified to do a job, or you will already you'll have a job waiting for you when you arrive, which is fair enough. Anyone with a speck of sense will know. And he was also making the point that part of the reason he wants to cut down on immigration from Eastern Europe is because the UK often is turning away a lot of refugees, and if we were to clamp down on immigration from Eastern Europe, not stop it, obviously, that's ridiculous, and focus on people that essentially need to come into the country, for example, people that have been forced out of Syria or Libya because of war, etc., then that's a better way of doing things. But anyway, don't really want UKIP to win, but the way I can see the election turning out is either, I know Milibanda's kind of sort of said no, but I reckon I doubt Labour will win an outright majority, and I think they'll probably end up in a coalition with the SNP, or I would say most likely is another Tory Lib Dem coalition, perhaps Tory UKIP, I'm not sure. I doubt there'll be any outright winners, and the reason for this is because parties like SNP and Clyde Cymru, which piss me off, I think these parties should be banned. Parties that are specific to one area of the UK should be banned, because they kind of, I can't remember what the word is, but they sort of splinter the vote. They don't make it as accurate, because the people of Scotland might vote for the SNP, so think, oh, well, they'll represent the Scottish people interest, but the SNP aren't going to win the election. They're not going to be in power in Westminster for obvious reasons. And obviously that means that the people of Scotland who have voted for SNP don't really get a say as to who they prefer out of all the big parties, Tories, Lib Dems, UKIP, whatever. And that's why, and it also stops an outright majority, makes it a lot more unlikely. And so that's why I think they should be banned. But that's it for this episode. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like, comment if you're not from the UK, just because I'm interested. Basically, thank you very much for watching. I don't know how I got those 2 kills. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe, whatever. Be a nice person, basically. I hate doing commentaries. I love them because I like talking to you lovely people. There's the final kill cam. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.